Okay. I have this question asked of me a lot, and it's taken me a lot of years to develop an answer that I liked, and then I felt like really addressed the question. Why do I need to know this? Miss Long, why is this important to me? Teenagers need to know that question in order to put a good energy and effort into what they're doing. And I feel like it's a fair question for them to ask and an expected answer that makes sense. As a young teacher in the 90s, I didn't know how to answer that question. It was because it's on the test or it's in the standards. Well, that's not a great reason. But over the years, I've really thought about it and come up with a reason that when I share it with students and parents, most of the time, I've never had a student who said that's not a good reason. So I hope that you like my reason and that it helps motivate you to do the things you need to do to be successful academically so that you can be successful after you get done with your education in high school. And you will always use this as a reason to learn and use the brain in your skull. So here is my answer to why do I need to know this? Why do I need to do Shakespeare? Why do I need to remember what happened in 1392 in Europe? Why do I need to know the periodic table? Why do I need to know how to factor? Well, all of those things are fair questions. And it's not so that you can factor when you get out of high school, and it's not so that you can spout off how many molecules are in a mole, or I don't even know if that's a chemistry question. But it's not about being able to spout information back, it's being able to think. We have to be able to think because as an adult, and you can ask any adult, they will agree with you, you are going to have to know how to budget. You're going to have to know how to make that $10 buy $20 worth of groceries. You've got to figure that out. You have to be able to do a task that you don't know how to do. You're going to have bosses and coworkers that expect you to do something that you're not trained to do. You have no idea how to do it, but you're expected to do it. And if you want to keep your job and you want to keep your income, you got to figure it out. You have to be able to read directions in a manual that may be boring, that may be difficult to understand, but you've got to be able to use that brain and figure out what those directions are telling you. You buy your child a swing set, it doesn't come all put together unless you pay somebody to do it. And when you have that pile of stuff and a set of directions, you have to use the directions correctly, or your little child's going to be sad and you're not going to have a swing set for them to play on. You're just going to have a pile of stuff that's not put together correctly. So you have to be able to read directions. You may need to fix something on your stove. You don't have the money to buy a new stove, but hey, it's this coupler's out or this heat element's out. I don't know how to fix a stove, but I can read directions. So that's going to happen. And you may not understand that that's going to happen. Ask an adult if they've ever had to read directions that they didn't understand to learn how to do something because it was required of life. You have to be able to communicate in written and in speech. So many students don't want to talk to their teachers. They don't want to speak up when they have a question. But as an adult, you have to be able to talk to a doctor. You have to be able to communicate with coworkers. You have to be able to talk to customers or sales representatives. That's part of life as an adult. We're going to use so academics is the training ground to make these things happen. We as adults have to every day figure out our schedule of how in the world am I going to fit everything in that I need to do within the amount of waking hours that I have. But you know what? As an adult, we put on our pants, we figure it out, and we do it because we have to think through it. But we have to learn how to use our mind. Um, it's going to be hard. And academics are not easy because it's a training ground for after you get out of high school. It's for how are you going to be successful? How are you going to use your mind to help you propel into the things that you want to do in the future? It's not about the periodic table. It's not about Shakespeare. It's not about algebra. It's not about geometry. It's not about science. It's not about any of those topics or those concepts. Because if you just want to know a nugget of information, you can Google search that. We know that. But you got to use your brain to figure out things that you can't look up. You can't look up those things that will make you successful as an adult. So, how does that, so what we have to remember is that academics and high school is a tool. It's just a tool. You have to work out to make your muscles strong. The brain is a muscle. So, we're using, you know, all of the things that we learn in high school as a tool to help you develop the skills that you need to use your brain to be able to be successful in life. Not so that you can regurgitate a formula or recite a poem or write a 20-page paper, but you're going to use those skills to help you learn how to function as an adult in ways that go beyond regurgitation of information. So use this little thing to remind you when you get that, why am I doing this? This is so pointless. It's not pointless. It's developing your brain. It's like the gym for your brain. So you've got to work out your muscles to make them strong and be healthy. Well, your brain is a muscle. And our gym is our schoolwork. So go at it with gusto and understand the better your brain is developed, the more you learn how to think and problem solve and schedule your workload and do all of those things, the more successful you're going to be when you graduate high school. And so remember, the teachers aren't here to make you regurgitate content. We're here to help you put thoughts together, develop meaningful conversations, and do all of those things that will help you be a successful adult. If you don't believe me, ask an adult that you trust and that you believe if those things that I shared are things that they have to do on a regular basis. Because I've never had a parent, I've never had a student that said, no, that's not true. So let this be your little motivational moment and put your calendar together, get busy on your schoolwork, ask questions, do your work, do your practice, do your best to utilize this brain inside your skull so that when you graduate, you're going to have the tools and the strategies in place so that you can do anything you want to do and you can be successful at anything you want to be successful at. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know what you think. If you agree with me, I would love some feedback about that because I do believe that that is the truth. So have a great day and go out there and work out that brain.